Welcome to Ellie Max's Effects. I am Ellie and we are doing this crazy creation today. This look is inspired by 2 Instagram posts that I just loved and saved to my phone right as I saw them. A cringy cut of face by The Degradation 100, it's so cool. And a crazy amazing open scalp by Janine Hoffman. I am so happy about this look, and the wig is totally reusable and the face is super easy to create, so I hope you like it, and don't forget to subscribe.
This tutorial requires beginner to intermediate skills, takes about 40 minutes to an hour to prep, and roughly the same time to apply. If you don't have a mannequin head to build this on, of course you can use any kind of round object like a bowl or whatever you have and place the wig on. So let's do this! And we start off with our $10 wig and place that onto our mannequin head. And Ellie has wrapped that mannequin head in some plastic to make sure she doesn't damage it in the process. And then we break out the clay, and this can be any kind of clay you can get your hands on. It doesn't have to set in an oven for 2 hours or anything like that, just basic clay. And with it, we need to create a flat surface, just like that. So use whatever tools you got to flatten it out, like this. And then we cut it out in a circle shape like that. And this is going to be our skull. We remove the excess clay until we have our little rounded disc left, like that. And then we give our little wig a haircut where we want to place this skull piece, something like that. With the clay in place, we can see that we need to cut off additional excess and then even out the edges. Just slope it down like that. And to create a nice little edge of ripped up skin, we are going to use latex and flour. Mix a little bit of flour at a time until you get a consistency like the one we see on the screen now, like a gooey dough. Place it out along the edge of our clay and then smooth the whole thing out. And to give the impression that the wound is coming from underneath the hair, we place some of the excess hair on top of that latex paste. And then work the latex paste onto the skull. Continue with the hair. Next up, we need to create the blood vessels from underneath the skin, and for that we're going to use yarn. We have red yarn in 2 different shades, one light and one a little darker, to mix it up a little. We pull the yarn apart until we have these tiny fluffy pieces, and then we stick them straight into our latex paste along the edge of our wound. Then go over the yarn with one thin layer of latex to make it stick to that skull piece. When that top layer of latex has dried up, you can use a blow dryer of course, then you just peel it off a little bit, and then we get the sense of a ripped up skin edge there. Then it's time to create texture on that skull piece. Use any pointy tool you have and make marks and dents into the skull. You can always use a picture of a skull for reference. We also need some marks for damage because something has obviously happened to this skull. So we make scrape marks using this tool here, and then we apply one layer of varnish. Gently just spread it out with a finger and then go back in and just remove a little bit of it so we keep the definition of our marks we just made. Now we get a nice shiny surface of our skull and we can head on to the paint job. And these are basic watercolors, beginning with a red and orange mix to pull down that color from the wound a little bit onto the hair. And to make sure this creation doesn't look too flat, we add additional shades of red. Mix in that darker tone with the red and blend that in with the other red. When you feel you got the right color, we need to do something about that white skull piece. So this time we do a brown tone and add a lot of water in our mix. Just gently get that color into all those little cracks. Make sure it looks a little bit more dirty. And then continue with fake blood. You can of course add a lot more blood when you finish this look up. And if you are done with it, it should look something like this. And we can go on to the mirror and put this on our head. We get the hair out of the way and then we outline our little face wound, because this is not only a cracked skull, it also goes all the way down on one side of our face. We do a little outlining, and you can of course do this wound any way you like. Doesn't have to be exactly like Elli is doing here, so you can freestyle that any way you like. The side of the face will be a mix of untouched skin and wounds, and we will create this using very simple methods: cotton and latex. So we apply the latex where we want a wound edge and then put the cotton right on it. The cotton will give us some rough wound edges and add a little bit more of that 3D depth to our look. And here you will see how we peel up the cotton a little bit to lift it up like a little skin edge. Like that. With those cotton and latex edges in place, bring out your favorite foundation to match your skin tone and add that to the areas you want to keep free of the wounds. In our case, the innermost parts around the eye. And we also cover the flappy skin pieces that we want to match our skin. Next up, we're going to use another grease-based color to go into the wounds, and this time it's a more deep red. So we go inside the wound where all the skin has been ripped off, and we fill that out with the red color. To give the whole look the same kind of texture, we go over it with additional latex. And since we are working close to our brows and our eyes, make sure you don't get it on your brows or in your eyes. We also use this liquid latex to apply some more of that yarn that we used before to give our wound some nice extra texture. Just get that in there, some precision work. Speed dry that latex using a blow dryer and then head on with paint job, and this time we go for a deep maroon color, mix that with a little brighter one, and then we stipple the whole thing on onto the edges of our wound, giving it a bruising effect. Then we go in and line those edges with fake blood. This is a dark variety to sort of give that edge a little punch, make it more visible. I wonder if Elli is pregnant in Swedish is Jag undrar om Elli är gravid. There has been some buzz about that, so we kept the Swedish lesson on that subject. Then going back to our prepared little scalp on the wig, put it on gently. And I totally forgot to mention that before, but of course you need to line up that edge of the scalp with the wound in your face before you create the makeup. So have that in mind. Anyway, fix up that wig, go over those little edges with additional red color and fake blood, so that the whole thing becomes one seamless wound. And if you want to look fabulous, you can always throw on a pair of red lips there in the middle of everything. And of course, give that overall makeup a little bit of a touch up before we head on to that last splashing of the fake blood. If you want to be a monster, be a monster. Ellie wanted to be a fabulous little doll. And there we go, the finishing touches with that lighter fake blood. It's a little bit more runny than the previous one. And get that on there in all the places where you see fit. And then you're good to go. Nasty and fabulous at the same time with an exposed scalp. We hope you like this. And hey, this weekend, December 10th to 11th, 2016, we are at the Sci-Fi World Convention in Stockholm. So just drop on by, say hello. We'd love to meet you guys there. Take good care out there. See you soon. Bye.